Something seized her. A strong force that tapped into her stomach and yanked sharply. Mei Li had precisely enough time to grasp and flail madly before the light disappeared altogether. Stars and shadow wrapped around her, as if she'd stepped into a galaxy, only she had no time to gather her bearings as she sped through it. In a blink, she was through it, and a patch of ground rushed up to meet her. Mei Li felt disoriented, much like a drunk who couldn't find either equilibrium or balance, and she landed with a thud against hard-packed dirt, grass tickling her nose. Gasping, she flopped onto her side, struggling to catch her breath. She panted for a moment, eyes blind to her surroundings. Was this what a fish felt like when thrown onto the bank? Winded, disoriented, and weak. She had more sympathy for their plight if that was the case. The weakness quickly passed, and she struggled up to her knees first, getting a good look around. Nothing looked familiar. Not that it said much, as Mei Li hadn't really traveled much in her life. She'd been all over the modern world, but she knew the world's geography and landscape had changed a great deal through the years. She could be anywhere in the world and not be able to recognize it. For that matter, how much of the land had changed over the years? So much so that she, a modern woman, wouldn't deem it familiar? She looked at the road nearby, hard-packed red clay and wide with wagon ruts in it. That was promising. Mei Li was a very firm fan of roads, seeing as they led places. The area was lovely. Rolling green hills dotted with trees and what looked like farms in the distance. And the weather was fair. That was also good. Barely a cloud in the blue sky. At least she wouldn't have weather to contend with. All good points. But it didn't solve her immediate question. Just when and where was she? Dusting herself off, she got to her feet and started walking east. She kept up a good pace because, without knowing her location, she had no idea of where she could rest for the night. It would behoove her to make tracks as quickly as possible. Still, Mei Li paced herself. She knew she didn't have the stamina to run all day, or even a quarter of it. As she walked, her ears perked up. Was that? It sounded like the sounds of battle ahead. Not with clashing swords, per se, although something metal was striking hard. Mostly incantations and yelling and substantial thuds as heavy objects hit the ground. What was going on ahead? And did she want to get into the middle of it? Frowning, Mei Li picked up her pace. Better to know what it was and avoid it than to blindly strike away from the road. She didn't want to go cross-country if she didn't have to. As she rounded a bend, going down a slight hill, the scene came more sharply into definition. There was indeed a battle, right in the middle of the road, no less. 3 mages, 1 warrior, and something that looked very fierce and straight out of a nightmare. Mei Li shielded her eyes with a flat hand as she ran, the sun at the perfectly wrong angle to mess with her vision. When she finally got in close enough, she groaned in realization. Not that she'd ever seen this particular beast in person, but she'd read of it. It was the manifestation of the Red Lantern, a powerful, fiery beast that was part lion, part fire, and mostly rage. Red Lantern was supposed to light the path toward heaven, but being denied that privilege, it went mad and instead sought to destroy the gates leading onto the path. It now wanted to destroy any road it saw. But hadn't that been sealed? Oh dear. Oh no. Surely she wasn't that far into the past. No. Calm down. Red Lantern did escape its seal once, about 2,000 years ago.